I've been working at Walmart for like 6 months now, and almost like $1 trillion company. Like it's just really, really big, and it's also like the largest company that I've worked for. And there's like a ton of moving components. I want to like make a video kind of just talking about like what it's like working for, you know, this being like the biggest company, I guess, that I've worked for, and what challenges and all that stuff that happens. These are the two things I want to talk about today, which is like the big things that I've noticed. So like working at EasyPost, right? When I was working at a startup, which had only like 100 engineers, it like everybody was in the United States and things were easier to coordinate and things like that. But like even then, like even the code base was way smaller. So making changes in the code, deploying code, you know, was just a lot simpler at a company like EasyPost and at like a startup. It feels like being at Walmart that things are just a lot more difficult. And so like there is one on the project I'm working on, there's a lot of technical debt, but two, there are a ton of microservices, and like there's a ton of services and a ton of microservices. And like every time I say this, I just think back to like this YouTube video. Every single time I think back to this YouTube video, which is like microservices. I think back to this one, which is a really, really funny video. Would totally recommend you watch it. We could even probably watch on stream, but like essentially what happens is this guy's like needs to do like a very, very simple change. It's like, I need you to change the color of the button. And he's like, no, okay, we can't do it because we've got like all these microservices, man. We got to talk to, first we got to get the user's ID from Bingo, and then we got to go to Papaya and then Magic Baby. And like he names these, like, this is like what it's like there are so many services and they all do different things, and they're all named in like, just like with nonsense, like Papaya. Why would you name it Papaya? I don't know. What is Google? What is like what does Google's name mean? Who knows? But there's just like I don't know in the tech space, but they just pick random names. They really do. They just pick random names. So anyways, it's just filled with this at Walmart. Like, you know, at EasyPost, it wasn't like there's a Wingman, then there's Galactus. Like there's a lot of programmers who just make nerd references too for the names of the services. So they will name it after like popular things. But this is 100% accurate. 100%. And anyways, the kind of end result of this though is that this means is that like anytime you try to do something really, really simple, you have to talk to different types of teams. So if you need to create a color change on the button or whatever, you need to talk to the color team, and you need to ask them, hey, what's happening here? I want to make this change. Can you make the change? Is it going to break anything? If there's like a really long chain, well then every person needs to like sync up and test all their changes at the same time, like on some kind of like period or continuum, and that has like just a ton of like delays. So like what happens if you've got 5 dependencies because you have a microservice, right? Like let's say, you know, we talk about system design sometimes in the stream, but like imagine you have like a system and you've got like 3, you know, different services, right? And they all talk to each other. This is something that didn't really happen at EasyPost, and if it did, like there weren't actually that many employees, but like for each of these microservices you will have like maybe 30 to 50 employees, it feels like, just all on one of these blocks. And when you want to make a change on something, you need all of these people to coordinate together. And so if one of them is out of sync, the whole thing gets out of sync. And that is rough. That is very rough, to say the least. Not to mention that, again, you have to talk to a lot of engineers. You need to make sure that you guys are aligned on the same things. There's also, because of the like just again scale, there's always a task to work on. And I think that like narrowing down the task is also much, much harder when you have like a ton of stuff that needs to be done, and a ton of stuff you could possibly do. Study yourself. Okay, there's also teams that are stationed on different parts of the world. And so when there's a team, when you have people who are stationed on different parts of the world, and you have components that are connected to components that are connected to components, you have situations where you cannot run tests because it's 10 p.m. there, but then it's 10 a.m. in India, or it's 3 a.m. in India. And so like they can't really work stuff out. And like that's another thing that happens, which brings me to like the next point, which is that like there's complexity at the employee level. So because there are so many employees, so many engineers, deployments take a long time because you need approvals. You cannot just ship your code. If you're at a startup, you just ship, bro. Like, oh, who cares? You just put those things out, put a ticket out. And I feel like I've heard this too at Google, which is that like, that's the thing that sucks, is that like you have to put your code review. Okay, now you have to review it thoroughly. You've got to, when somebody marks it wrong, you've got to go back and change it. So then that adds more time. And so it's not just like startups where you just ship, which is fun. You can't do it at a big company. So code changes take a long time because you need approvals. Needing an approval can go just beyond like one person, right? Like you can literally need approval from your manager, need need approval from your manager's manager and things like that. And then overall, like all of this just reduces speed if you're comparing it to a startup environment. So anyways, those are the big things. And I want to mention this just because it is just so crazy. Like I mentioned you hear the sound of it, but when you're actually in there, it's pretty crazy. So projects help you get an interview because you pass the interview. Yep, that is what I would say. That's what I would say. Projects help you get the interview. Like I did projects, even then too, like you could even do paid projects. Like you accept money for building out the project.